Hi, so I've been working on this script for a couple of months now, about 10 or so on or off, and, well, for the most part, it should be rather self-explanative. There are some nuances that you have to learn in order to use it, so I'll show you some of the basics. First of all, it only works on editable polys, so make sure everything is always an editable poly when you're doing it. And then we're going to make an archetype and call this teapot. And now we can go and select the teapot, pick a face, again only editable polys, and we'll put it on whatever face it is. I've made another one, window, which is what you see over here, and when we pick face, it will pop to whatever face you pick. But one of the interesting things is that this script also comes as a modifier. So if we go into poly select mode, select faces that we want to see as a window, we're going to set their material IDs to 10. Now we're going to add to the modifier list an archetype holder. And in that, we're going to name this window. You don't actually have to name it, but it just helps for keeping things together. Set the material ID to 10, like we set before. And we're going to go and search out that same window archetype. I'm going to add that and save. And now, if we go and we build instances, every face with the material ID set to 10 will now have a window on it. Pretty neat. But it goes a little bit farther than that. Let's go ahead and make a new box here. Convert it to an editable poly. And set this face to material ID of, let's go 10 again. Now we're going to make the entire thing an archetype again. I'm going to call this blocks example. Oops, spelled wrong, doesn't matter. And we're going to go ahead and open up the group that we've created. And we're going to add an archetype to this, the main box that is their archetype holder. We're going to go find the box example, material ID 10, name it box. So always add the groups, save it, and it shows up here now. And you can remove it using the remove button if you ever want to. And if we build the instance, builds an entire new box of that on top of it. However, going back, we have to open it up again. If we set the iterations to a higher number, say 5, build instances, it will build 5 boxes, which is very cool. So you can make a stack of boxes if you ever wanted to, which doesn't sound very interesting. However, this is a different example. Using the same idea, there's 3 faces in here, all of them set to material ID, probably 10 or so. I'd like to use that number a lot. And we're going to go ahead, open it up, select the thing, and this one I have material ID 10, which is set up to use this. I'm going to set the iterations to 4, and we'll watch it build. But the thing is, we can use it on multiple faces like we did in the window example, so it goes on. Unfortunately, the script isn't very fast, so if you do it to really high numbers of iterations, it'll take forever, a couple of minutes. You might just have to walk away from the PC for a bit. And as you can see, it makes kind of a recursive fractal thing. 4 might have been too too many iterations to go through. However, one of the other interesting things about this is that it doesn't only have to be itself. You can set other things, other archetypes to whatever material ID you set within that, and as long as it's called, it will grab all of the definitions or the archetypes and start to put them on top of itself. And so this one just uses one, the branch thing, and keeps creating too many. I put too many iterations here. You can use it and have it select a random definition to go by every time. Which I'll get to in a second. I didn't realize this was going to take so long. Well, just watch it go. Alright, and there it is, all done. This little kind of tree thing that I made. Okay, and so in my background, I've created these over here. And these are kind of a set of elements that you might see in a typical bungalow kind of thing. And these were created rather simply. Let's go back to this. Let me convert this to double poly. I'm going to attach all the things that were stuck on it, blah 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 blah. Okay, and we'll create a plane underneath it, one by one. Convert that to a double poly again, and choose this button. Which button? Clone plus attach arc. We're going to call this example. And so that has made, that's the original one, and this is the new group that we just made. So let's go and grab that, call that example, and we can put it back on the face, and it puts it back pretty much exactly as we saw it before. So the same thing is done for each individual element here, right? And so each one of those is a group, and then I put those to a group of this. This looks like just a single plane, however it's actually 5 planes on top of each other, which is not super hard to do. And this is set to another definition. And so now the definition of that, which I'm sorry if this is getting confusing, recursion gets that way, but we called it bung, short for bungalow. Right, and whenever we are going to build that, oops, whenever we build it, we make me look like an idiot because I didn't build it right. Sorry. Because we have a definition here and a definition for each of these, we need to set the recursion letter or the iterations to 2, or else it'll just build that. Build instances, and it'll randomly pick from all these things I chose, and make make a random bungalow. Just remember to put that to 2. And so it's kind of a neat idea. And so every time we do it, it'll make a new geometry that's pretty randomly generated comparatively. And the fun part about that is if we were to take this to, let's say, more interesting geometry than planes. We can go and copy the archetype holder modifier. paste that onto this and check what material ID it was attached to. Material ID 1. I'm going to look at polygons and select all of those. Make sure they're not material ID 1. Call that 2. The rest should be all 1, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then when we go back here, again set that to 2. We can build instances on top of this. And it'll take a while because there's a lot of faces, but you'll see that it creates this kind of random design as it goes along. So yeah, it's nearly done. I think if I work on this anymore, I need to fix up how slowly it goes, obviously. Hopefully, at some point I can get it to the point where it's not instantaneous, but quick enough to generate large-scale scenes. And we see it freeze up. This is it deleting all the faces that it created on. And let's move the original geometry out of the way. You can see it created this little flat town of completely randomized individual bungalows. There. And it's not super useful yet, because as you can see, everything is its own separate piece of geometry, but I did make a part of the script just to fix that, do that, and it'll attach everything that is in your selection. Oops, and those as well. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. As you can see, since it takes so long to do it, it might be more useful to make one or two houses attach them, make them new archetypes, and then put them on their own. Archetype holder definition, or not. But anyway, since we made this house all randomly generated, we can go and take house 01, pick face, put it where it was. So it's cool, and it's not obviously just for bungalows. You can use it for trees and stuff, and it's just a fun script to play around with if you want to test it out. I would love to hear what anybody has tried it out, what your experiences are, what you've made, and I will keep working on this. And in the meantime, I hope that everybody can download it and play around with it and enjoy it, because I had a lot of fun creating this script, so why doesn't everybody take a look at it? Thanks, everybody.